Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor, and when last we left off, we went on the northern road away from Krondor. Yes, I know, we're meant to go to Krondor, but we'll get there in due time, and we found more encounters on our way to the first settlement on this road, which is the village of Tanneurs. We've heard about Eggley and Tanneurs. We heard from the various lockboxes that we found that there are traps set up around this area, so we need to watch out. But I think we have... Yep, if that is what I think it is, we have made it to Tanneurs! Hooray! And I see a shop right there, so you want to bet we're getting our haggling mode on, and we are selling what we have if we can, even if we get a slightly worse rate than we would get in Krondor. Let's see if that's the case. What is this store? We need to be a little bit closer. Hamel's Pawn. The shop was littered with cast-offs, forgotten trinkets, lost items which few would want or need to reclaim. Here it seemed that tarnish and rust were the things that were prized, the items to which they clung of only secondary value. Okay, keys. Ooh, practice loot is here. And that's about it. Will you take my stuff? Oh, you won't take my stuff. Huh. That's awkward. I kind of wanted you to take my stuff. Well, we will totally haggle for everything you have. 61 sovereigns for a pile of lockpicks. I mean, not awful, but we might actually have to head down to Krondor to sell all this stuff. I thought we'd be able to, in a pawn shop, be able to pawn off all our things, but no. This literally is just random esoterica. And expensive esoterica too. I'm not going to be buying anything from here. I don't even think I'm going to buy the practice loot here. Though we could get some keys. We could get some keys here. Do I want any of these keys? Probably not. I get the feeling we're going to get more than enough keys as the game goes on. The armorer's hammer's not that expensive though. Could have saved a couple of sovereigns by getting an armorer's hammer here, but I did not know that we wouldn't be able to sell things here. Well, we're going to explore this area and then travel back to Krondor to sell things and then make our way back. Oh dear. Well, as I was saying, the game encourages you to go out of your way to buy and sell. And speaking of buying and selling, that's 96% on haggling. We only need to do that a couple more times, and then Owen is at maximum. And then we need never worry about haggling again. Well, provided we have Owen in the party. If we don't have Owen in the party, we might want to worry about that. Right, let's look around the village. The house was not in good repair. Dark green moss covered parts of the door, and was visible in several large patches on the front slats. Lockley's attention returned to the door as it slowly swung open. A foul, musty smell filled the air as an elderly woman appeared in the doorway. She was dressed in a tattered shawl and wore a different shoe on each gnarled foot. "You one of them shadow people? I hate them shadow people," she croaked. Her look of contempt suddenly turned to fear. "They're everywhere, you know. Could be slipping in my door right now." The thought obviously terrified her, and without warning, she disappeared into the house, slamming the door. Locklear hesitated. "We've been here before," he said. "I don't see what purpose will be served by us visiting this place again." Yeah, that was not a good visit. Owen tried the door. The building appears to have been abandoned. "They locked up after themselves," he said. "I think we should take a shot at opening it up." "We should, but not with you." "With you and those handy lockpicks that we have." "And we have a lot of lockpicks. Let us, save and see about getting inside. We haven't had many opportunities to train this. Okay. 27 lockpicks? Hey! As the old saying goes, locks are for children and fools. I am no fool." Locklear pushed the door open. "The place is abandoned," Gorath said, looking around the room. "Maybe the occupants left something behind we can use. Let's have a look." Horn of Algan Cocoon. Reinforced at the bell and mouthpiece with brass collars, Owen struggled to imagine the beast from which the horn had been harvested. While possible it had come from a mature dragon, no man alive would dare fight such a creature for so trivial a trophy. Puzzling, too, were the dog shapes carved on the horn. Huh. We just found a nice little trinket. Also, you're holding on to the magical trinket, another thing to laden your inventory with, as Locklear's lock-picking improved. Hey, that's a good thing to see. That's a brilliant thing to see. Okay. Locklear sniffed. Ah! It's a tavern! Well, we know what we want to do at a tavern, and that is bard. So let's get our barding on. Locklear sniffed. Stepping just inside the tavern's doorway, he detected the faint but familiar scent of lye and the more pungent aromas they were meant to erase. It would be a foolish tavern keeper who neglected to have a cleaning boy close at hand where men drank to excess. Tom's Tavern. Despite the fact that light was dim and pooled only in shallow corners, the mood within seemed cheerful as the tavern keeper animatedly related tales of mischief, reaping gales of laughter from people who had most likely heard his story dozens of times. Let's bard. Owen played. His fingers slid easily over the lute's fingerboard as he moved between chords of This Kingdom Mine, the notes filling him up as well as guiding him forward. Quietly, he began to sing the refrain. I think we just got a perfect one. Oh, I think we just aced it. Okay, nearly. This kingdom mine, with my blood I've paid, to guard against all who oppose her. When at last he had finished with the tune, he found his audience was sitting in stunned silence, their gazes all fixed on him. That was beautiful, the tavern keeper said. Reaching into his pouch, he removed 30 sovereigns and placed them in Owen's hand. Okay, so different taverns have different levels at which they give their best reward. This was probably meant to be an earlier tavern, ergo, barding was sufficient. Locklear tapped the woman's shoulder. Slowly, we've had that dialogue. There's the barmaid, there's this person. The man scowled, apparently far more intent on something going on across the common room. He seemed uninterested in Locklear's repeated attempts to chat. At last he glanced up and gave an exasperated sigh. What exactly do you want? Just a little friendly talk, Locklear said with a companionable smile. News, gossip, a song perhaps? Well, go and find a bloody jongler then and leave me be. I've got better things to do than entertain every jackaboot that comes through that door. Fair enough. Locklear motioned to the man across the room. Sometimes I come to this place to drink and gab, the man said. But sometimes I come to gab. Well then, perhaps you could tell us, Locklear began hopefully. Before he could finish, the man interrupted. Today, I just came to drink. Okay, no conversation there. A shifty-eyed man motioned them over. Boys, he said. Snake Eyes Spitzer's the name. You feeling lucky tonight? You're looking lucky. How about a game of dice? The gambler looked up. Make it a fist? He shook it at Locklear's nose, then smiled wickedly as he opened his palm to reveal a pair of dice. The game is dice, my friend, the gambler said, sitting back down. Winner wins half as much as he bets. How much gold will you wager? This is basically a coin flip. If you, win, you will eventually wear out the gambler's money and he won't want to bet anymore. And, as I said, there is no strategy to this game, so I'm for now gonna say no. Locklear shook his head. You've had quite a good run of luck by the look of you. We, alas, have not been so fortunate. Perhaps someone else will play with you. There's the barmaid, and the inn is there, so let's exit. The party's barding ability is increased. That's good, 83% barding. And 22% and 48% didn't even mean to get those improvements. Right, let's get all this back. I'm gonna show off the dice rolling and see if it's favourable. I'm gonna save before I do this, because we could lose a bit of money doing this. Let's wager 50. Locklear rolled poorly. Frowning at the unfortunate turn of events, he reluctantly handed over the sovereigns he had bet. The game is yours, sir, he said. So, I will show you then what happens if you win. Potentially. This is when I can't show you what happens when we win, because we'll never actually roll winning. I don't think the odds get any better or worse, depending upon how much you wager. Yeah, luckily roll poorly. I just want to see what happens if you win. Game, let me win, please. I mean, I want more money, but please just let me win. This is when every time I go in here, we'll say I roll poorly. Ruthia smiled on them. Scooping up his shining winnings as graciously as possible, Lockley deposited their 1 sovereigns with as much discretion as possible. I hope you have better luck in the future, Lockley said with a nod. Oh, he actually wants to keep playing. That's cool. I mean, you can, with enough saving and loading, just, like, take advantage of the gambler here. I want to see if I can get him to say he doesn't want to gamble anymore. That's what I want to see. And also, winning once and then losing once, you still lose money. Because you only win half as much as you gambled. So, let's try again. Nope, Lockley roll poorly again. It is just completely random. I just want to show off, as I said, the gambler deciding they don't want to play anymore. Right. Yay, we won again! The gambler still wants to bet. Huh. I am honestly surprised. I was expecting the gambler to want to stop at this point, because we have won 50 sovereigns off them. We have 2,111 now. I know they have a limit. Ruthia smiled again. The gambler shook his head. I'm afraid I've come to the end of my funds, he said. Perhaps when I have recouped my losses we can play again. Lockley nodded. I would like that very much. Good day to you. I'm not surprised. We just won 75 sovereigns from you, and all we had to do was bend the space-time continuum to make it happen. Also, there's only one more place here. Lockley pushed open the door. No one has lived here in some time. Okay. Bad news, we have to make our way all the way back to Krondor if we want to sell all of this stuff. And we do have a lot of rations, we can definitely make this happen, so let's work on making this happen. 1. And 1. Still have 15 rations on Gorath and 14 on everyone else. It seems like a long way away from the major map, but it really isn't. Like, we're almost to Krondor already. Like, we're nearly... In fact, here we are, Krondor. You can just whiz here, sell things, make our way back. We have these to sell for even more money. We nearly have 2,200. Almost. It's all gonna go when we buy those ridiculously expensive swords, but still. Look at all of that. All that coin. And we do get to hear the fantastic music that I'm just gonna hang around for, because it's really good. Also, I don't think there's anything on this screen that we can just, like, click that will give us, money. Now, there is the sewer, though. The sewer is a bit obvious. The sewer is going, hey, this is the way you probably want to go. Because, yeah, we're trying to be sneaky, and bringing Gorath through the front door is probably the last thing we want to do. It is, however, going to take pretty much the day to get back to Tanneurs, but that's fine. Because Tanneurs is just past this body, and right here. Okay, so we've made some money. We failed to sell stuff here, but we did manage to make tidy profit gambling. Now, let us head north. And I'm sure nothing terrible will happen. Oh wait, there's a body. Oh look! Don't move. In our daydreaming, we've allowed ourselves to walk straight into a trap. Yep, it's a trap. Oh-ho! Right. So, this is a trap. We want to go round. We absolutely want to go round. Because these will zap us. If we do that, we'll be fine. Let's go to here. And there we go. Gotta wait some more. Go to here. And push this. Can we push that? I don't know if we can. I'm trying to. We might just have to take a lot of damage. Or we could cast a spell that we have, which is shields target from damage, Skin of the Dragon, invisible armor. Let's give Locklear some armor. And let's have it go through. And it missed! Completely! We're through it, I think. But be on your guard. There may be other traps. Yep, there may very well be other traps, but, we survived that one. This person didn't, but he had a key. And he had some money on him. I'll take that as a victory. Anything over here? The answer is no. So Skin of the Dragon is exceptionally powerful. It just makes you so ridiculously tanky. I looked up what that spell was, and it's just like, it's invisible armor, and I went, invisible armor sounds pretty good. Also, that is going to lead me off to Sethanon. I don't want to go to Sethanon. I want to keep heading north to Eggly. And Eggly is over here. At least I hope it is. Little path over here. What does this lead to? It leads to a house. Well, let's go check out the house. Hello. The small house, it turns out, was home to a slight, balding historian named Kellen, who talked of the ancient Valherve and the relatively recent cataclysm near Sethanon as he got them some fresh water for their packs. The folks I've interviewed, the ones living near Sethanon, say they thought the world was coming to an end, like the fabric of heaven was being turned back upon itself, revealing another universe in the skies, and they all talked about the explosion and fearsome flying beasts circling in the sky. His voice trailed off. I think it may have something to do with the dragon lords who once roamed freely on this world. One day I'm going to figure it all out. Locklear laughed. I'm sure you will, Kellen. Someday. And when you do, I'd like to read that book. In the meantime, thank you for the water. Goodbye. That was nice. A little bit of lore there. Now, Eggly appears to be here. Is this Eggly? Eggly! Marvellous! And it's getting dark. Let's rest. Owen needs to rest if no one else. Okay, anything... Just having a look around here. There is a house. There's also... an area down there that I, nothing. Just looking around. I don't think there's anything especially important around there. Let's check out the houses. Locklear pushed the door open. No one has lived here in some time. Curious. No one has lived here either in some time. That is also curious. Ooh, graves. No one has lived here in some time either. There's a store. Okay, graves. There's quite a few of them. Let's check out the town first and then we'll look at the graves. Okay. It is a tavern. We should actually just wait until midday. Hey, it's a tavern with no one here. Except for a battle-scarred mercenary who glanced up at them, the common room of the tavern was completely empty. Only the restless shuffle of feet on the boards over their heads indicated anyone else in the building. Hi? Locklear motioned to the figure across the room. The man walked over to join them. He stood before them, eyebrows arched inquisitively. What can I do for you today? I do believe this is the loneliest tavern I've ever visited. Where is everyone? Everyone is elsewhere. With the exception of Rake, myself, and a handful of boarders that have wandered in from off the road, there's not been another soul in town since the festival. Everyone? Why? What happened here? Come the 8th hour of last evening, a cloaked gentleman entered through that same door there and took a seat. He ordered a joint of beef, a loaf of bread, and a mug of ale. I remembered these things because I had ordered the same. Soon as he had finished his meal, he went to the tavern keeper and tossed down 50 gold sovereigns, turned round, and was gone by the door. Before the first of those coins stopped their spinning on the counter, the rest of the people in the tavern rushed out after him. The keeper didn't even latch the door. Some sort of deal? Nope. Some sort of damn local ritual. It seems I arrived in the middle of a ceremony that was called the Festival of a Stranger. Traditionally, the elders of the town would gather in the tavern and draw lots, and the one with the longest lot was dubbed the Stranger. On the first night of the festival, the Stranger comes around and offers the members of the town fake sovereigns. They call them Nimptos, and then the citizens of the town leave to sleep in the fields. Of course, I wasn't aware of what was going on. And they're supposed to stay in the fields? No. The next morning, the elected stranger is to circle the village 3 times while swinging a strand of hemp over his head. When he's done, he cuts the length of rope and sets it on the road to let people know that they can come back. They then know that Killian is looking with good fortune on their township, and that she won't strike their fields dead. If the strand is not placed, however, it means that she is displeased, and any citizen that attempts to return to town will be struck dead. Was the stranger killed by Killian? No, not Killian, but by a man named the Collector, to whom he owed money, who didn't know about the town's tradition. It didn't matter to the citizens of Egley, though. They still chose to see it as a sign from Killian that they haven't returned since. Think the place is cursed and won't return until the curse is lifted. They've relocated to Tanneurs, Hawk's Hollow, and a few in Malek's Cross. They all believe they've done the right thing and have given me permission to do whatever I wanted here. Out of respect for them, I've decided to keep the old town name of Egley. I don't know. It seems people would have to be pretty thick to believe all of that. Would they? Would you have the nerve to spit on a shrine of Ishop? No, but I guess I see your point. Everyone has their beliefs. Many people in these villages at one time were farmers, and it's difficult for them to simply turn their backs on the goddess of nature. They require her blessing before they can go on to new lives. You should remember that before you judge something to be ignorant. So, as my new job as bartender of this tavern, I suppose it's my duty to see if you need anything? Can I set you up? That was an interesting conversation, and one with a wise moral at the end of it. Which god did you say this festival of a stranger was in celebration of? The fertility goddess, bringer of harvests, the earth mother, Silburn. Pick a name. All mean the same thing. She's the wench to whom Ma and Pa Ugly pray to have little runt Ugly and enough wheat to eat through the winter. Can't say I have much use for her. Is there a temple of hers nearby, or straight west of Egley, then north of the crossroads? Big white building with the columns. Smells like a whore's bedchamber. Hard to miss. That's a very blunt description. One of the brothers from the Abbey of Sarth has seen several mercenaries on the move through the Principality, and he said they look Quegian. With a good Quegian name like Devonius, I was thinking you might know something about them. I haven't had anything to do with the Dauphiness of Keg or her father-in-law for over 3 years now. I burned my writs of passage the day Spitzer and I boarded the Dauphiness's war galley, the Storm's Master, and sunk King Lebius's flagship with all hands on board. Since that day, I've only worked for me. Me. Then you have no idea why there would be so many mercenaries wandering free in the kingdom? You don't get more than 3 Quegian mercenaries together in one spot unless you're paying them to be together. Small little island like that, most of them have killed a member of another mercenary's family. Pay them well, they'll put their personal vendettas aside long enough to do what's asked of them before they start on one another. Whoever's funding them must have an incredible fortune in rubies somewhere. Rubies? Isle sovereigns won't buy you a thing in Queg, except a month underground in King Lebius's pain pens. Rubies. That's all they'll take. Interesting. With a whole town to yourself, I'm surprised you haven't opened up any of the other shops or houses. I'm leaving them be until I know what's eventually going to happen here. Never know when some folk is going to show up and want his property back. I don't want to be the idiot holding the bag. If most of the folks were smart, they'd probably lock their houses, and I'm not much of a lockpick. Know anyone who is? Strange character named Abuk. I ran across him when I was working for the Dauphiness Cassandra of Keg. We discovered him once when we boarded a Keshian vessel. After he helped open a few choice chests of mercantile, we chained him up in the belly of a ship so we could make a present of him to Cassandra. But when we docked in Palanque, all we found in the hold of the ship was a note saying he could be found in Silden if ever we needed his services. I've never hired anyone else for a lockpicking job since. Interesting. You mentioned someone named Spitzer who boarded the Storm's Master with you. Was he a friend of yours? Is he still around? You know, to be passing through, you ask a lot of questions. I'm just curious. I was wondering if maybe he would know anything about the Quegians. He's got more reason to be afraid of King Lebus than I do. He'd avoid Quegians like the plague. Now, if you want to play dice with him, I'm sure he'll be plenty happy to talk to you. He was in Tanneurs last I heard. Oh, yes! We totally took all his money. Thank you for your hospitality, Devon. It was a pleasant respite from travelling the roads. Remember that next time you talk to someone about Egley. Time to start some new rumours. That we will. Goodbye, Devon. And there is an inn! We're not going to do that. And so, when we come back, folks, no one's in Egley at all! Literally. If we go to here... Empty. Ooh! Empty but money! I'll take it. And... empty. Interesting. Just all of this. Interesting. And when we come back, folks, we have a graveyard to dig through because we have a shovel and there could be some nice stuff in these graves. That's actually not a grave, but a moredhel hidey hole for goodies. Alternatively, we could just dig up something nasty. Will be only one way to find out, though. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.